We are the floating waste cleaning machine team, and our goal is to clean up plastic pollution in rivers. We know that on average, 2.4 million metric tons of plastic flows through rivers each year. Over two-thirds of these is carried by just 20 rivers, most of which are located in densely populated urban areas. Focusing on these rivers would help us tackle a large part of the plastic menace. In order to do so, we've designed a machine that is able to collect floating waste in the rivers while at the same time not obstructing movement within the water body. In order to arrive at the final design, we've looked at the problem that we want to tackle and we've looked at existing solutions for that problem. We then looked at shortcomings of those solutions and designed a machine that doesn't have those shortcomings. The current existing solutions are of two kinds. The first are large permanent solutions which often block a large part of the water body. The problem with this is that this hinders the free movement of ships and boats and therefore can't be employed everywhere. The second type of machines are extremely small. These are able to collect only a small amount of plastic, which is inadequate for the large amount of waste that our society is generating currently. Therefore, we have designed a machine that is able to collect a large amount of waste while at the same time not blocking flow within the water body. Our machine is able to collect the waste through the use of two arms, which brings the floating waste to the mouth of the machine. From there, it is transported into a dumpster through a conveyor belt, which is partly submerged underwater. We've also ensured that our machine is low cost so that it can be adopted by governments worldwide. Now, let's look at each part of our machine in greater detail. The first part is an arm, which is made up of three links. The main purpose of the arm is to cover a large surface area so as to collect a large amount of waste. The first link is made up of a mechanical stopper and is operated in an elbow-like motion. That link is able to resist the force of the flowing water so that it is able to stay stationary in water. The second link is operated in a bevel gear assembly which moves in and moves out with a drawer-like mechanism. The length of each link is kept around 1 meter so that the base doesn't experience extremely high levels of torque. The links are moved through motors which are going to be controlled in the base itself. Look at now let's look at an animation of how these links work. We've also thoroughly done structural analysis on these arms to make sure that they're able to resist fatigue and tear in normal working conditions. We have looked at parts which are weak and we have specifically reinforced those parts to prevent against failure. Now let's look at the type of loading that is going to be present in these arms during normal operation. The second part of our machine that we're going to look at is the base. The base is the part that holds all other parts together. The arms are joined to the base at the front, and at the rear, the sidebars are used to keep the dumpster in place. The base is made up of marine grade coated 4 mm steel, and the different panels are joined using rivets. We have ensured that the base is large enough to hold all the various parts together, but also small enough so that it doesn't obstruct the flow of boats in the river. We've ensured that our base is sturdy enough so that it doesn't fail in day-to-day operations. We found it to have a minimum factor of safety of 3.5, which will be actually higher in normal operations because it will have more supports than what has been taken in the simulation. We finally needed to ensure that our machine is able to float. For that, we have calculated the total weight and the total submerged volume of the machine, and we have found that it will require additional buoyant force. In order to provide this, we have designed hollow floaters which are made up of high density polyethylene. We've also ensured that the machine will be able to anchor in a river. We have designed different types of anchors which will be able to anchor that machine depending on the type of riverbed it is placed in. This final part of the machine we're going to be looking at is the conveyor belt itself. The conveyor belt transports waste from the mouth of the machine to the dumpster. The lower part of the conveyor belt is submerged 1 feet below water, and the upper part of the conveyor belt is rotated through a motor. We have selected stainless steel mesh with PVC coating for the belt itself because it has a high life and also an adequate amount of friction. The drums of the conveyor belt are what drives it. These drums are connected to a motor through a fixed gear ratio mechanism, and we have ensured that the drums also are adequately safe from failure. The motor that we have used is primarily used to run the conveyor belt. We've ensured that the motor has a high enough torque of 47 newtons so that it can power the conveyor belt in most day-to-day operations. We've chosen the motor to be small so that it is able to fit in inside the machine and doesn't unnecessarily increase its size. The battery that powers the motor is going to be rechargeable and also lithium ion powered. This is chosen because of its high energy to weight ratio, and it is able to power the machine for up to a week on a single charge. The type of people we're going to target who are our potential customers aren't going to be private organizations. River cleaning is largely a governmental entity, and we think a large amount of our customers would be governments or government partnered NGOs. We think they would also be able to afford our machine because river cleaning is something which has received a high level of funding recently. For example, the Ganga River Cleanup Project has received about 1500 crores in funding, and as you would see later on, our machine only costs a very small fraction of that. We think that the impact of deploying this machine worldwide would be immense. Notice that the current cost of the amount of plastic that flows into the machine is about $8 billion. This is the damage that is caused by plastic through marine ecosystem, through tourism in marine areas and other places, which means that a large number of entities would be willing to spend a large amount of money in order to ensure this problem is tackled. Given that we are able to clean up waste effectively, we think our machine would be able to have a very high impact when deployed around the world. Given that our machine is low cost and also has very little maintenance and running costs because of its self-automated working mechanism, we think it will be able to be adopted by governments worldwide. A large number of governments using these would ensure that a large part of the plastic waste is cleaned up and the impact that we've mentioned previously is attainable by us. The final cost of our machine comes out to around 5 lakh rupees. This includes the fixed cost of materials, manufacturing and labor, and we think this and the running cost of our machine would be around 50,000 rupees, which means the total cost of our machine would be around 5 lakh 50,000 rupees, and we'll be able to get back revenue and pay back the cost of the machine in just under 3 years. This means that our machine is not only cheap in terms of its initial cost, but will also be able to pay for itself if it's used for a large period of time, which means that we'll be able to clean up a large part of the problem that is plaguing our society currently, and we'll be able to do so in a cost effective manner.